Deputy President William Ruto and Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiangi yesterday chaired two different meetings. And that's significant. So today, I want us to look at the meetings and how the elevation of Fred Matiangi by President Uhuru Kenyatta is going to ensure better service delivery to the people of Kenya. But before we do that, kindly remember to subscribe. Now, something happened towards the end of last year, and it seems most people just took it lightly. The entire cabinet was asked to go on a compulsory leave, and that leave lasted for 18 good days. But only one, Fred Matiangi, was exempted from that directive. And that leave lasted for close to 18 days. And a lot happened during that time, according to the sources within the corridors of power. A lot of things happened during that time. It is during that time that President Uhuru Kenyatta actually appointed Fred Matiangi as the supervisor of all cabinet secretaries. So when they came back on 5th of January, most of them, they found that Matiangi has not been appointed as the head of the cabinet secretaries. And this information did not go down well with most of them. Most of them refused to receive orders from Matiangi. And the sources are saying that probably that what informed President Uhuru Kenyatta's decision yesterday, the other week, to issue the executive order. So that executive order is actually a vote of confidence on Matiangi by President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Because according to sources, President Uhuru Kenyatta is keen on leaving a legacy. And he felt most of his cabinet secretaries were actually letting him down. And he even contemplated firing some of them. But the president was advised against firing any cabinet secretary at that particular moment. And that's when now he decided that Fred Matiangi, as one of the most hardworking cabinet secretaries, was going to help him realize his legacy. And Fred Matiangi is now the second most powerful individual in the country. So yesterday, Fred Matiangi and William Ruto chaired two different meetings. And in my view, that's a sign of good things to come to the country. The deputy president met with the food safety, a multi-agency team that was tasked with food safety and nutrition. He met them in Nairobi. And Fred Matiangi also met leaders from Nyanza. He met them with other cabinet secretaries. And there's a bit of difference in the approach which William Ruto used and the approach which Fred Matiangi used. So let's start with Fred Matiangi. In Fred Matiangi's meeting, Nyanza leaders were actually there, and according to the communications which Matiangi issued on his official Twitter handle, is that they met in line with the president directive, which allowed him to which gave him powers to supervise to supervise government projects. So he started with Nyanza. And remember, the president was last in Nyanza. And in that meeting, the president agreed with the Nyanza leaders to do ABC. And one of the things he agreed to do is the issue of hyacinth and some few roads and also the fishing industry in Lake Victoria. And Fred Matiangi met with the leadership of Nyanza and met with respective cabinet ministries, specifically to do with Nyanza projects. the significance of that is that it proves that now no leader will now head to, no elected leader will now be lining up at William Ruto's office to follow up on development projects. And in my view, that's a good development for the country. I remember at one time, I accompanied MP for Saboti, Caleb Amisi. He was issuing some bursaries. But he said something which really shocked me. The deputy president had insisted that for him to initiate any project in Saboti, then Caleb Amisi had to go to him and swear allegiance to him. That's the time he was going to initiate development in that constituency. And you see, people like Caleb Amisi probably don't have time for William Ruto. So it means if they don't have time for William Ruto, and now there's someone they can go to, like Fred Matiangi, then it means they'll easily go to Fred Matiangi, and projects will be initiated there without having now mixing politics and development. Because as a matter of fact, Kenya is a multi-party state. At any given time, we'll have a ruling party and we'll have opposition. And if it's divided into two, then the development of the country will retard, will stagnate. And that's why I support the appointment of Fred Matiangi, because it will now give such kind of people opportunity to seek for development project for their areas. Because of course, the government in their budget always allocates enough resources to different regions without any consideration to the politics. But sometimes the implementation must consider politics. So what I got from Matiangi's meeting is that Matiangi is actually going to deal directly with the elected leaders as per the president directive. Then we go back to William Ruto's approach. If you look at the William Ruto's approach, he met with multi-agency. It means different departments within the government. And in my view, that's what William Ruto should have been doing all along, so that to prevent this issue of issuing roadside declarations. Yeah? So I want you to listen to what William Ruto said during that event before we proceed.
In order to strengthen disclosure on who is doing business with government, the President issued Executive Order Number 2 of 2018, directing all public service departments to actively release to the public information on procurement of public works and services. There are public entities that are yet to comply with Executive Order Number 2 of 2018. I want to ask Treasury to forward a list of all public entities that have refused to comply with Executive Order Number 2 to the head of public service, so that we can take head-on the boards, the CEOs of these institutions, because they are the ones who are pulling us back. And in line with our program on openness, His Excellency the President has signed the order setting up committees at the county, at the regional, the technical committees of permanent secretaries and other technocrats, and the committee of cabinet that will assemble real-time, accurate information on the implementation of government projects and programs from every ward to the national level, so that citizens and civil society can have access on our government portal to information, accurate, up-to-date, real-time information, so that government can be more open and citizens can interrogate, and civil society groups can interrogate the implementation of our government programs and projects. Government, as we have always known, is serikali, and it was meant to be sirikali. That's how we've known government. Less information, more confidentiality, many secrets. But that is how we've known government. And
now, from that speech, it is clear that the working relationship between the Deputy President and William Ruto might not be that frozen. I mean, might not be that cozy. But the benefits to the people of Kenya is going to be enormous. So the Deputy President will now focus on his mandate as the Deputy President, and Fred Matiangi will now also focus on his mandate of ensuring that the President's legacy is achieved. And that's good news for Kenya. The only challenge which we have, and probably which I'm yet to understand, is why certain cabinet secretaries are not comfortable with that arrangement. In fact, the Star newspaper today reported that at least 5 cabinet secretaries, 5, have agreed to defy Fred Matiangi's directives. Remember, Fred Matiangi was appointed by the president to execute a specific mandate. And the president went further and issued an executive order. Now, these cabinet secretaries are appointees of the president. If they decide to disobey the Matiangi's directive, it means they'll be defying the president's directive. And that's where the challenge now will be for most of these people. Because by defying that, basically what they'll be doing is that they'll be writing their own resignation letter or their own firing letter. Because I think the president is so serious about his legacy and his handshake with Raila Odinga to an extent that he will not entertain anything which will be viewed as sabotage. So, in my view, if the other cabinet secretaries are serious about Kenyans, then they should just allow Matiangi to do his job. The politics, because of course the cabinet was divided into 2. There were those who are supporting Ruto, and there are those who are appointed by President Uhuru Kenyatta. It's time for them, in my view, to bury the hatchet and probably just work together to help the president achieve his legacy. Because by achieving that legacy, then it will make even work easier for William Ruto. William Ruto will find a platform to campaign on. Because as it stands today, any campaign which William Ruto will launch will be subjected to subjected to investigations by Kenyans. And of course, Kenyans are some of the very funny people. You launch a fake project, the next day they will know. Yeah? So if I were Deputy President today, I would simply support fully Matiangi and ensure that probably the president's legacy will be achieved, and he will actually carry the credit also because they are part of a team. But there's also a challenge because from the look of things, it seems the Deputy President and his people have already focused their mind that the president is fighting them. If you listen to the statement these guys issued the previous day and how they reacted to Joho, you know, Joho simply made a simple statement regarding Matiangi's appointment. Let me play for you that speech by Joho. Just, I think it's less than a minute. Let me play for you that speech by Joho and understand why sometimes I think the people around William Ruto are not very smart in political strategy.
Nampongeza sana Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta to be able to delink maendeleo na siasa. Tulikuwa tumechoka kamwe ati mimi governor 001 nipange foleni ningoje William Ruto ati anakuja nimsalimie nimwambie leta maendeleo. Mimi namna gani bwana? Siwezi fanya hiyo. Ati nakaa hapo Mombasa airport nangojea nini? William Ruto kufanya nini? Maendeleo. Siwezi fanya. Lakini sahi Fred Matiangi akiingia nitaenda kumchukua mwenyewe airport. Kwa sababu yeye ni technocrat. Yeye hataki siasa. Yeye anataka kufanya kazi kwa niaba ya Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Si namna hiyo? So tunadilink hiyo na hiyo tunafuata. Mimi mwenyewe najua And by the way, naambiaga watu wa Jubilee, shukuruni Raila Amolo Odinga sana. Kama si Raila tungewatia vumbi ile mtawahi hona. Wacha niwaambie, si mimi nasamanga ukweli. Kama sio baba.
Now,
Kusema ni
from that speech by Joho, you know, Joho just expressed himself. Joho said for him he can't go to receive deputy president at the airport, which is okay. That's his democratic right. So the people around William Ruto have responded to that small speech. It's like responding to a mosquito with a hammer. They've responded fully. And you know, most of these people are basically from Rift Valley. You know, Hassan Joho was in Vihiga, and he was also in Busia, and the crowd came. So which means, as much as we may hate Hassan Joho, me personally, in Mombasa, I never supported Hassan Joho. I supported Hassan Omar for the governorship. It's on record. Yeah? But the fact that Hassan Joho can go to Vihiga and can go to Vihiga and can go to Busia, and MPs from Rift Valley are responding to him, I mean, that's a serious matter. And of course, while Nandi governor was responding, the border in his own county were demonstrating. So it means most of these Ruto people, they don't have a deeper understanding of what they should do to ensure that William Ruto becomes the president. If I were them, if I were Sang is a governor and Hassan Joho is a governor. Sang can do a simple thing. Sang can be used by William Ruto to start reaching out to Hassan Joho. Instead of responding to Joho in public, he can befriend Joho and use that opportunity to reconcile Joho and William Ruto. And that was what bright politicians do. Yeah? You see, the other time, when Joho and Ruto were not seeing eye to eye, the was in Gishu governor, Mandago, went to Mombasa. Yeah? And he talked with Joho. So instead of responding ruthlessly to Hassan Joho, these guys can basically go and talk peacefully with Joho and reconcile Joho with Ruto. But they don't see it like that. Have a listen to how they were responding to Joho. Just have a listen and be your own judge before we proceed.
Joho, we want to tell you this. This country is suffering from many challenges. One of the worst challenges facing this country right now is that we are losing an entire generation of young people into drugs. The people who practice the business of selling drugs in this country are known. And even as we speak right now, some of them are being sought by international agencies to go and answer to charges of drug trafficking that has been happening in our country today. So my friend Joe, you cannot hide under attacking William Ruto and imagine that your issues around the drug menace in this country is going to be washed away. My friend, you must deal with your sins. You have made a lot of money out of illegal drug business. You must answer to those charges. And we will not allow you. You are the least qualified person to question anybody on integrity when you are busy killing the future of this country by selling drugs to our young people. My friend, get serious and get a life for yourself. We know that you want to antagonize William Ruto so that when the agencies come for you, you want to blame it on William Ruto. My friend, you made money for yourself. You have killed an entire generation with the drugs. It is time for you to answer to your sins. We also know that your limited understanding in terms of education gives you a problem to understand the handshake and many other things. My friend, you must go back to school. How can somebody who has no papers start accusing somebody who has done a PhD? My friend, where did you do your certificate? What did you get in?
Okay, guys. You can be a judge there. But in my view, that kind of response was unnecessary. In fact, Kimani Chungwa, who is now outside Rift Valley, and rumored to be William Ruto's running mate, also made the same kind of statement, the same reckless statement, in my view. Yeah. So, in my view, to conclude, I think William Ruto and Fred Matiangi should continue working the way they're working. And in my view, constitutionally, the position of the Deputy President of Kenya is anchored in the Constitution. There's no way Fred Matiangi can take that role. Yeah? And secondly, the roles which have been given to Matiangi are also constitutionally given to him by President. The law is clear that the President can assign anybody in responsibility. And if these assignments are going to benefit Kenyans, which I think is going to do, because there are some people who don't have any time for William Ruto, they can now go to Matiangi, and there are some people who can go to William Ruto and get these things. In my view, that's the Kenya we want. That's the handshake spirit. So let the two find a way of working, and as long as the benefits trickle down to Kenyans, then we don't have any problem. And thank you guys for watching. And I want to take this opportunity to, there were people from Elgeyo who are involved in an accident. I think a chief and assistant and several other people, and they died. 8 people died on the spot. I want to take this opportunity to send my sympathies and condolences to the family, and on behalf of the subscribers on this channel, we want to wish them, to sympathize with them during this hard time. And if you are bumping on this video for the first time, I want you to simply hit the subscribe button. Just subscribe. And as usual, I keep on giving my number. If you have anything you want to share with me, you can always drop it in the WhatsApp. It's 0777 741323. Just drop any issue you want us to address. And of course, I keep on responding to most texts which I receive. And there's a particular text, someone challenged me to analyze certain thing, which I'm going to do. Of course, someone sent me a text. He told me, Lee, can you analyze this? He texted me, can you analyze this? I think there are some 5 guys who have gone to court to seek for removal of Governor Mike Sonko from governorship of Nairobi. So I'm going to look into that. And also there's someone who sent me a text, I think 3 or 4 days ago. I'm still putting the thoughts together on how I can deal with that. And if possible, I can even make a phone call to you. Then you analyze the whole thing. Then I put it in a video. There's nothing which will stop us from doing that. This channel this channel belongs to all of us. Yeah. So if you think you can be that person, then I can put you on a phone call and dissect an issue, and then I'll post it over here. I don't have any problem. Just drop me WhatsApp. Then I'll call you via WhatsApp. And of course, I'll put whatever we've discussed on here.